Hey guys, and welcome on into another episode, Picks on Net, NHL Picks and Predictions. I'm your host, Terry Edelman, at TU Picks on Twitter, ready to break down the Saturday slate. 13 games to go over today, so we got a bunch of games to go over. We're going to jump right into that. Just a moment here, take a look at what happened yesterday, and I'm happy that the losing streak ended. After 3 days, we were able to end the losing streak yesterday. One of my premium plays, Toronto Maple Leafs money line, was a nice winner there. Back and forth, pretty nice game to watch. The Leafs getting the win. Pontus Holmberg, unfortunately, did not score, and JT Miller did not score. Luckily, two smaller 0.3 unit plays there for those. Warren Fogle over half a point, plus 168 cashed for the LA Kings. Wyatt Johnston, anytime goal, plus 240. A nice winner there. Kevin Fiala is officially ice cold. So Fiala, when he's hot, he's hot. But when he's cold, and he's officially gone cold for the LA Kings. And then the Minnesota-Colorado game, Marco Rossi didn't score, and Arturi Lehkonen, unfortunately, didn't score. So a small winning day, I believe like half a unit or something like that, but I'll take it. And we'll move on to today's big 13-game slate. Jump into the standings, and then we'll get things started here. Toronto in first with 76. The Florida Panthers with 75. The Tampa Bay Lightning with 72. We've got a nice close race here in the Atlantic. In the Metro, not so close. Washington with 84. Carolina with 72. The New Jersey Devils with 70. The Detroit Red Wings and Columbus Blue Jackets, who are both facing each other again. Obviously, they just faced each other in their last game, and now they're facing each other in the outdoor stadium series game once again. And obviously a very important game with both teams currently in a playoff spot. I think either team would be happy with going to overtime potentially. Just keeping their point total here ahead of the Ottawa Senators with 62, New York Rangers with 62, Boston Bruins with 62, the Montreal Canadiens, who've been starting to win again, with 61, Philly with 60, the Islanders with 59, Pittsburgh with 57, and then the Buffalo Sabres, the bottom of the Eastern Conference. The Eastern Conference is so close. It is so close. For the teams outside of the playoffs. The Winnipeg Jets with 87, the Dallas Stars with 78, my Minnesota Wild, who have lost 3 in a row, but just barely are holding on to third in the Central, tied with the Avalanche. Vegas with 76, Edmonton with 72, and the LA Kings with 70. Colorado, as I said, tied with the Wild with 72 points. 7 points behind the Avalanche is the Vancouver Canucks. So there's quite a big drop-off there after Colorado. And then, of course, LA has 70 there. So Vancouver was 65. And then it's basically right now a 4-team race. Vancouver, Calgary, Utah, and St. Louis all fighting for that last wildcard spot at the moment. Anaheim, they're 3 points behind St. Louis, a couple games in hand, but probably a long way to go. My Seattle to make the playoffs ticket is a loser, unfortunately, but it is what it is. And then the bottom 3 of the Western Conference. If you guys like the show, make sure to hit the like button on YouTube. And if you're new, hit the subscribe button. Appreciate all the support, everyone. We're going to jump into the chat and see what people are thinking. Well, good morning to you too, Turnsy. How's it going? Good morning, guys. Hey, Grant. How's it going? Fiala had 11 shots directed at the net last night. 9 missed the target. Oh, my God. So maybe I shouldn't say he's ice cold because he's still trying. I know he had 4 shots the other night when he didn't score, so he's still trying. It's just not finishing. He's not finishing. Like and subscribe, brothers. I appreciate that, Bula. I appreciate that. What's up, Terry? Not too much. ready to make some money on a big 13-game slate. And we're going to start with the first game. And Nashville Predators, New York Islanders. People might be thinking, Terry, you're going to pass on the first game of the day, aren't you? Well, no, I'm not. Nashville Predators, plus 120 road dogs. The New York Islanders, minus 140 home favorites. Total of 5.5 here in this game. And normally this would 100% be a pass. Early Saturday game, of course, this is a 12:30 start, so not a 1 p.m. start, a little bit earlier than usual. Between the Nashville Predators, who've been a disaster, and the Islanders, who did just end their losing streak in their last game. But I have to take Kyle Palmieri. Anytime goal here. He scored in 4 of his last 5 games, as well as 2 of his last 3 against the Nashville Predators. He's got a hot stick right now. He's finding the back of the net for the Islanders. Plus 240 for Kyle Palmieri to score. So I put a smaller play, 0.3 unit play on Kyle Palmieri to score. But I did have to bet him here in this situation. Currently, nobody's consistent for the Predators, and not a lot of other people are consistent for the Islanders. So if you want to look at an under in this game, that could potentially be a good play. But for me, Kyle Palmieri, anytime goal to start the day off with a plus money player prop. Elijah likes a Caps money line, which we'll be talking about in the next game. So don't you worry. We're going to be there soon. IceX likes the Isles, minus 1.5. Yeah, I could see that. Jumped on Stamkos plus 240, 4 goals in 7 games versus Sorokin. All right, best of luck. Speaking of goaltenders, thank you for reminding me. I know most of the time on Saturdays I don't mention goaltenders because we do the show the night before. So obviously goalies aren't usually available then. But taking a look here, nobody's confirmed. Ilya Sorokin unconfirmed. UC Saros unconfirmed. So that should be what we see, but neither have been confirmed yet. Moving on along to our second game here. And this one. So the last game we had nobody consistent for the Predators. One person consistent for the Islanders. Here, there's a lot more to talk about. The Tampa Bay Lightning minus 115. The Washington Capitals minus 105. Total of 6 here in this game. And I backed the Washington Capitals the last 2 games, which they've lost. And I thought to myself, okay, this is when I'm going to turn to Tampa Bay here. But I've bet Washington mostly. Obviously, they've been a great team all year, but they've also been good at bouncing back. Now, that wasn't the case in their last game. Do they come out here and lose again? I don't know. I don't think so. But this Tampa Bay Lightning team has been extremely hot recently. They have obviously won 7 games in a row now. Their last 3 games, 3-0, 4-1, 4-1. So they've allowed 2 goals over their last 3 games. Of course, all those 3 games were at home. They have won 2 road games during this stretch, 6-3 in Detroit, 5-3 in Montreal. The Tampa Bay Lightning are just playing really well right now. Now, of course, they are a much better team at home than on the road. So ultimately in this game, I don't have a side. I want to take Tampa Bay. I kind of want to sprinkle on the draw as well here. But I have not got to either yet. Looking at player props in this one, you guys know I've been talking about, obviously, Alex Ovechkin and betting him a lot until, obviously, he hits that pretty much consistently, betting him consistently until he hits that goal, until he hits the goal record. However, I can't bet him here today. I cannot bet Alex Ovechkin in this game. He has not scored in his last 7 games against Tampa Bay. he has not scored. So he obviously does not have a lot of success against Vasilevsky, at least recently. And I know he probably does. He probably scores tonight. He's probably going to score this afternoon. He's probably going to score this afternoon and end that losing streak or end that goalless streak against Tampa Bay. Unfortunately, just with the way he's priced and the fact that he hasn't scored in 7 against Tampa Bay, it's enough to keep me off here in this one. Ultimately, in this game, I've got only one play, and that's Brennan Hagel. Anytime goal. He's scored in 6 of his last 7 games and 2 of his last 4 against Washington. I got him for plus 220. Plus 220 to score in this game. So plus 240 in the first afternoon game, plus 220 here in this one to start us off in the early slates. If you look at Jake Gensel, he has a point in 11 of his last 12 games against Washington. He's had a lot of success against the Caps. Point 4 games in a row. Kucherov 3 of 4. Nicholas Paul down at the bottom. He didn't score in his last game. His 4-game goal streak did come to an end, but he's had some success against Washington there. So there are other players to look at here. Ultimately, I'm going to stick with Brandon Hagel, who's got the hot stick right now. Very hot. I also took Isles, Puckline, and Brock Nelson. Anytime point. Best of luck. Caps and Reg. All right. Grant, he's agreeing with Grant. Yepers, Caps money line. Okay, so people liking the Caps. Also, Ovi over 3.5 shots a goal. Yeah, he's been so good at shooting the puck. He has. Caps haven't lost all year 3 in a row. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Tampa team total over 2.5. Caps have given up 3 or more in 9 straight. That is a good look, yes. First period over 16-5 in Caps games following a loss. Okay. Now, the only thing that partly scares me there, Logan Thompson is in net. Now, of course, he hasn't been nearly as dominant as he was at the beginning of the year. Obviously, he's coming off a loss. But he still has fantastic numbers, and I could see an instance where if I could see Washington winning this game 3-2. I could see that. So ultimately, I'm just staying off when it comes to the sider total. Okay, Terry, then take my boy Stromer. He's been good too. He's been good. I don't want to. I've really been loading up in Caps props, and the last couple games hasn't gone that well. So we'll see what happens here. Who is Hagel anytime goal at that price? I did these late last night, by the way, and Bet365. I got plus 220 for Brandon Hagel anytime goal. I'm not sure what it's at now. Let me take a look. Plus 210 at Bet365 now, so it's moved a little bit. Plus 200 at MGM, plus 190 at FanDuel. So you're getting around plus 185 at DraftKings. So the price does vary here. Brunch rules. Yeah, I normally try to stay away from Saturday brunch games, and that's why I'm going light. One play in each one because I have to. I have to take Kyle Palmieri with how well he's done against the Predators as well. Hagel, 6 of his last 7 games he scored, not including the Four Nations, and 2 of 4 against Washington. So we'll take him here in this one. Now we're moving on to the 3 p.m. Eastern games. Starting with Calgary, plus 195, and the Florida Panthers, minus 240. Total 5.5 here in this game. Refresh goaltenders. Oh, Andrei Vasilevsky is confirmed now for Tampa Bay. He wasn't a few seconds ago, but he is now. So in that game. Here in this one, Sergei Bobrovsky confirmed. Justin Wolf unconfirmed. Maybe they go with Wolf. Maybe they go with Vladar here in this one. Kadri and Huberdeau have been extremely consistent for the Flames all season long for the most part. Huberdeau is actually having a really decent season here with Calgary. Of course, the last couple of years, since he was traded from Florida have not necessarily gone well for him, but he's having a good year this year, a point in 6 of his last 7. Now he's facing his former team, so you can imagine Huberdeau will have some extra motivation here. Mackenzie Weegar, of course, also was traded. He was hot there. I think 2 or 3 games in a row now. He hasn't gotten anything, so that's why he's not here on the screen. Honestly, I would look at Huberdeau and Kadri parlay together, and I may very actually well get to that. Obviously, both have been very consistent. Huberdeau facing his former team, he's going to want to have a good game here, so don't be surprised to see him play well. Unfortunately, Matthew Tkachuk will not be playing in this game, so he won't get to face his former team. Sam Reinhart, he's been hot recently, an assist in 8 of his last 9 games and a point in 4 or 5 against Calgary. So player props here in this one, ultimately nothing at this moment, but Huberdeau and Kadri, let's go see what that is. Because I am thinking about adding, there's quite a few games on this slate today where I like players to get a point. Unfortunately, I couldn't possibly bet them because of the price. Like Kadri is minus 140, so out of my range. Huberdeau is only minus 115 for a point here. If you parlay Kadri and Huberdeau together, it's plus 170 at Bet365. So most likely that's a nice price, plus 170. But Huberdeau by himself, minus 115 to get a point. I think it's a good play. Here in this one. If you can shop around and maybe find plus 100, that would just be, let's see here. Huberdeau point, minus 111 at FanDuel. That's around the best I can see. Minus 109 at Bet Rivers. I'm going to have to think about it, but I think it's a good play. Thompson starts, first period over, has cashed in 5 straight. Yeah, he definitely hasn't been as consistent. Taking notes. Have a great weekend. You too, Real Deal Prime. You too. You may not like what I have to say about the Sabres today in advance. I'm sorry. Mackenzie Weegar plus 600. Definitely not a bad look against his former team. Flames, money line, Flames and reg. Okay. Huberdeau plus 225. Not a bad look at all if you wanted to go the goal route. Coronado plus 300. Lundell plus 300. Assist plus 175. Best of luck. Nyquist being held out for a trade, which is the Nashville should have traded him last year when he was so consistent on that top line with the Preds last year. He just had a fantastic season. But this year, you're not going to get nearly close to what you could have got for him last year. So I get it. Nashville needs to start making moves. They need to, because they're not going anywhere near the playoffs this year. I took the over 5.5 Flames puck line and both teams to score 2+. Okay, so Grant likes some action here in this one, and I'd be happy to see that. Kadri assist plus 175. Not a bad look, especially if you do like Huberdeau goal. You should like that as well. Sharon Govich, 4 goals on 8 shots in 4 games against Bob. Plays power play number 2 plus 390. Flames games are 28 to the under following a loss. This is our system play of goal in first 10 first period over with Flames off a shutout. Wow. Okay. So that is a lot. That is a lot to compute there. So Flames trending towards the under following a loss, but then the system play says bet the over after a shutout. So we'll have to see. What comes true there. What comes true. On to our next afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern game. We got the Boston Bruins and the Pittsburgh Penguins. The battle of black and gold. Both teams obviously black and gold here. Boston, plus 105. Road dogs. The Pittsburgh Penguins, minus 125. Home favorites here are 6. Minus 110 each way in this one. Ultimately, this is one of the games I am passing on today's slate. If you're doing point parlays, Geeky and Pasternak together, of course, is a good look. Geeky, 0.5 of 6 against Pittsburgh, and he's scored in 3 of his last 4, so 0.5 of 7. So Geeky playing well. Pasternak, a point in 16 consecutive games. Never a bad look. For the Pittsburgh Penguins, Crosby, a point in 6 of 7, not including the Four Nations. And then Carlson, he's been pretty hot recently as well. Ultimately, though, on this 13-game slate, this is one of the games that I pretty easily passed on here. Some good parlay pieces here, but ultimately nothing for me. Bet the first period in Flames, not full game. Oh, okay, first period over, not full game. Pass, gosh, this game hurt my head. I could see that. Bruins money line. Yeah, you're not going to find me taking the Penguins as a favorite. You're not going to find me betting the Penguins as a favorite. So I'll say that. Sunny Springs likes Calgary. I can see that. I can agree with you there. I might take Flames money line as well. All right. Hey, there's good value with them. I don't think Florida should be that big of favorites. So I agree with you guys. I took Pittsburgh team total under 3.5. Other than that, it's a head scratcher. Yeah, it's a game you can pass on. Because there's so many other games on today's slate, including the Stadium Series outdoor game here between the Detroit Red Wings and the Columbus Blue Jackets. -110 each way. I am seeing a 6.5 here in this game at Bet365 now. MGM does still have the over the 6 at -120. Same with Bet Rivers. But the other main books here have moved to a 6.5 here in this game. It was 6s yesterday. Bear with me. No confirmed goalies in our last game we just talked about. Here in this one, Cam Talbot confirmed for Detroit. Nobody yet confirmed for the Columbus Blue Jackets. And right off the bat here, give me the over 6 in this game, which I got for -120. Obviously, 1.2 unit play. Total sides are full unit plays unless otherwise specified. Here for me, why am I taking the over in this one? Detroit's gone over 6.5 in 5 of their last 6 games. They've been involved in very high-scoring games. They're obviously scoring goals, but Cam Talbot's been pretty awful. You can't really count on Talbot for the Red Wings. Columbus on the other side, they've got over 6.5 in 3 of their last 4. The one game that did stay under finished 5-1. So it was obviously a push with the total of 6. Didn't quite get to the over 6.5. Both meetings between the teams this year have gone over 6.5. 7 of the last 9 meetings between the teams went over 6.5. And one of the 2 that stayed under finished 4-2. So very high scoring games between the teams. Now, people might be thinking, oh, Terry, but this is an outdoor game. An outdoor game is probably leaned more towards the under. Wrong. 3 of the last 4 outdoor games went over 6.5. And the last 3 outdoor games all went over 7.5. So recently we have seen very high scoring outdoor games. Both of these 2 teams coming in on over trends. Give me the over 6, which I got for -120. If you have access to BetMGM, I would always recommend taking the 6 instead of the 6.5. We have seen some pushes here, but I won't be surprised to see this hit 7 goals. So if you take the over 6.5, I still think that's a good look here. Player props. If you like Detroit, you like Alex DeBrincat, who's been extremely hot recently, a point in 9 games in a row, 9 of his last 10 against Columbus. A goal in 4 or 5, goal in 3 of his last 4 against Columbus. You guys know what I'm about to say. Give me Alex DeBrincat. Anytime goal, we've been betting on a consistent basis. Plus 195 for Alex DeBrincat to score in this game. Of course, I had to take that. Of course, he's on the top power play as well. Columbus, not a good penalty kill. Detroit, the worst penalty kill in the league, which, of course, equals overs. For Columbus, Marchenko and Fantilli, if you want to, I would parlay the two together for a point. That would be a nice same-game parlay for those two. Ken Johnson, I did pull the trigger on his anytime goal here at plus 240 in this game. He's scored in 3 of his last 4 games. The point prop, which I have been betting, I believe is minus 130, which is out of my range for player props. So I'm going with the goal for him. Boone Jenner assist, I have not pulled the trigger on, but is a very good look. He's got an assist in all 3 games since coming back or since returning or making a season debut here. And then JVR, James Van Riemsdyk. He's scored in 3 of his last 4 games. He's got a hot stick right now, and he's scored in 3 in a row against the Detroit Red Wings. So a smaller 0.3 unit play here on Van Riemsdyk, but I got him to score here at plus 350 in this game. So Ken Johnson plus 240, DeBrincat plus 195, and James Van Riemsdyk plus 350. Anytime goal here in this one. And as I said, I want to talk anyone off Marchenko Fantilli point prop here in this game. When it comes to the side, I do lean with Columbus, but I love the over a lot more here in this one. Boston 19-9 to the over as a dog. Okay. Zach has 3 goals in 4 games versus Ned. Okay. Oh, very much pass. Really? And Grant says outdoor game pass. Wow, really, guys? Really? Interesting. Okay. DeBrincat goal plus 160. Larkin goal and Raymond 2 points plus 275. Wow. Larkin for first goal plus 1100. Nice odds there. Fantilli is plus 200 for a goal, plus 175 for assist. Very nice prices there for sure. Marchenko plus 180, Ken Johnson plus 225, and assist plus 150. All right. Columbus money line minus 106. I can see it. Columbus Detroit full game over 10 of 13. Yeah, it's just, but yeah, I said the stats a few minutes ago. I love the over here. And I was kind of thinking, outdoor game, but outdoor games have been very high scoring recently, so I'm okay with it. Wow, Aaron's going to go with under 6.5. Okay, I disagree, but Blue Jackets team total. That's a very interesting question. Let's go see what it looks like. I was looking at a few team totals today. I have not got to any yet. When I was looking yesterday, Columbus team total 2.5 is minus 190, so you have to go 3.5, which I see at plus 130 for Columbus team total over 3.5. I don't know if I would get to that. I don't know. Although I do think they score 4, obviously. I do. But I didn't bet their last game, so definitely not going to bet this one. All right. On to our next game. The San Jose Sharks and the Ottawa Senators. The San Jose Sharks plus 245. The Ottawa Senators minus 305 favorites here. A total of 6 in this one. Ottawa should not be this big of favorites. Ottawa's not played well whatsoever. They've lost 5 consecutive games here. 4-3, 5-1, 5-1, 5-2, 4-1. So the Senators have given up at least 4 goals in all 5 games during this trip, or during this losing streak. And this is another one where I was considering the Sharks team total, which I have not actually seen the price yet. So there wasn't anything earlier last night when I was looking. Sharks team total over 2.5 is plus 130. I'm probably going to end up getting to that here. Now the Sharks in recent games, 2 of the last 4 they've scored at least 3, and 2 of their last 4. And then Ottawa, as I said, they've been giving up at least 4 or 5 goals. And the Sharks have also scored at least 3 in 4 of the last 6 meetings between the teams. Sharks team total over 2.5 at plus 130. Most likely is going to be a play that I add here, probably for a half unit play here. Linus Ullmark confirmed for Ottawa. Well, he's been pretty bad. He's been involved in 4 of these 5 losses. So obviously Forsberg was in net for the 1-5 loss against Tampa Bay. Otherwise, it's been Ullmark. Now, you have to consider that San Jose is a lot different than Tampa Bay, Florida, Winnipeg, and Montreal as well. So this is a step down in competition now for the Sens, but minus 305 favorites is pretty insane. It's pretty insane for how they played lately. Yes, Brady Tkachuk said he will be playing in this game. I'm not sure about the other guys, Norris and Pinto. I'm not sure on their status yet. So Ottawa could be getting some guys back, which will definitely help them here in this game. William Eklund, 0.3 of 4 against Ottawa, 0.5 of 6. Will Smith has been playing pretty well recently. Celebrini also. Ultimately, at this moment, this game's a pass. Stützle obviously has been very consistent recently. Good against San Jose as well. Ultimately, this game's a pass at this moment, but our Sharks team total over 2.5 at plus 120. Or was it plus 130? Plus 130 is very appealing here. 3 goals. I think the Sharks can get 3. I do. Sharks money line. Hey, it could happen. San Jose is going to end their losing streak eventually, and Ottawa's just not playing well. Does Ottawa on a 5-game losing streak, though? They should come into this one and ready to play, but they could also be thinking, "Oh, we're playing the Sharks. We can win this one," and that's not a good way to think. Grant's throwing up. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. 3.5 did go over for Columbus last game. Yeah, you can go with it. You can go with it. Sharks plus 258. All right. Is Brady back in? He said yes. He said he'll be playing, so we'll see if that's the case. Sharks team total over 2.5 plus 130. I like it. The 3 players are back. Okay, so all 3 are back, according to Mr. X. Will Smith goal plus 400. Not a bad look there. If you like Columbus, they've scored 4 and more in 24 of the 29 wins. Okay. So yeah, maybe you should ignore me, take the Columbus team total. Tkachuk, Norris, and Pinto will play tonight. All right. But they're probably all not 100%, I would assume, but it still helps, obviously. Robert likes Columbus team total. Sharks first period over half a goal. When you have a favorite minus 300 or greater, the dog has scored a first period goal in 31 of the 51 games. Goal in first 10 and 33 and 18 with a plus 300 favorite. Okay. I like it. Celebrini 2 plus points, plus 336. Wow. Okay. Good day, Terry. Hey, Captain Brian. How's it going? William Eklund goal plus 300. Not a bad look. Not a bad look here in this one. On to our next game. The Montreal Canadiens plus 125. Road dogs here. The Buffalo Sabres minus 150. Home favorites. Total 6.5 here in this one. And as I kind of mentioned earlier when Real Deal Prime was commenting, obviously he's a big Sabres fan. I kind of mentioned you're probably not going to like what I'm about to say here. Give me the Montreal Canadiens. They've won all 3 games since the Four Nation breaks. Four Nation breaks scoring 4 goals in all 3. So Montreal is starting to look much better. They're starting to look like they were during that hot winning streak they had. Buffalo, a 5-2 loss in Carolina in their last game, which ended their 2-game win streak. When you look at what these 2 teams have done against each other this season, 7-5 and 6-1 victories for the Montreal Canadiens. Montreal has won their last 5 games in Buffalo. They enjoy playing in Buffalo for whatever reason. Give me the Habs, plus 130 here as a road dog. They've had success against the Sabres. We'll look for that success to continue on here tonight. Looking at player props, for me in this one, Patrick Laine over half a point, which I got for plus 110 at Bet365. Obviously, he's got a point in 3 games in a row and in 5 consecutive games against Buffalo. So plus 110 just to get a point, goal or assist. Great value there. Lane Hudson, I believe, was minus 110 for a point. Ultimately, didn't make my card. I would have rather plus money. I don't know if it's available now. Maybe FanDuel has it at plus money. Let's take a quick look at Lane Hudson. Obviously, when the Habs were hot earlier in the year, so was he. Minus 113 at FanDuel, minus 110 at DraftKings. So yeah, not the best overall for Hudson, but you could look at him. Cole Caulfield has been heating up recently. Slavkovsky as well. So players to look at for Montreal. For the Buffalo Sabres, Alex Tuch. He's had success. Point in 3 of 4 against Montreal. 3 of his last 4. He scored in 4 or 5. So he's playing well. Owen Power didn't get an assist there in the last game. Does have an assist to both games against Montreal this year. So there's potential to look there. When it comes to the total, obviously I lean with the over just with how these two teams have played against each other this year. Very high scoring games here. But I like the Montreal Canadiens as a dog here in this one. Habs and over. I can agree. Lane Hudson, 2+ points, plus 446. All right. Very nice odds there for that. Ew pass. What are you talking about, IceX? You're passing some of the good games that I like. Goal Caulfield, 2+ goals, plus 900. All right. Habs money line and Suzuki anything. I got my Habs socks on. All right. Line 8 plus 225 for a goal. Great value there. I went safe with the point prop, but most likely he does score. Most likely he'll score. Habs money line. I like it. Alex Tuch goal. I like it. If you like a Buffalo Sabres prop, that's the way to go. Habs team total over 3.5. Tage ain't getting any looks from me today. Yeah, he's not even on the screen here, which says something. He's not consistent enough to get on the show. But we'll continue on along to our next game more than 4. 6 more games left. It's a big slate. Philadelphia Flyers, Winnipeg Jets. The Flyers plus 185 road dogs. The Winnipeg Jets minus 225 home favorites. A total of 5.5 here in this game. People might look at this game and say, Terry's passing in this game. He's not going to bet this game. Wrong. I'm betting this game. Give me Andrei Kuzmenko. Over half a point here in this one. I believe it's considered the top line. He's playing with Travis Konechny for the Flyers. And Konechny an assist in 4 or 5. Kuzmenko, he's got a point in 4 of his last 5 games and also 3 of his last 4 against Winnipeg. He's played pretty well against the Jets when he's had the opportunity. Plus 150. I got him last night, plus 150, just to get a point here in this game. I think there's great value there. I've not pulled the trigger on Matvei Michkov yet. I did not really see his point prop available at as many spots. However, he does have multiple points in 4 of his last 5 games. So he is probably getting somewhat close to my point total. I have him on the season. He's probably getting pretty close to that, I would assume, which I need him for 50 points on the season. His point prop, plus 122 at FanDuel, plus 110 at Bet365. So quite a big difference at FanDuel. Plus 122 for Michkov to get a point. I'm going to be likely adding that after the show because that's just plus 122 for 1 point. Meanwhile, he's been getting multiple points in 4 of his last 5. So we'll go to him as well. Not taking Owen Tippett, but he's had success recently and also success against the Winnipeg Jets. I don't want to overload on Flyers props against the Jets. That's just a little scary. So ultimately, Kuzmenko, and probably going to add Mishkov as well. For the Jets, you could look at either of the three players there. Not a ton of value, obviously, with their props, with points. So for me at this moment, Kuzmenko is my only play, but most likely going to be getting to Mishkov as well here after the show. Owen Tippett plus 300 to score. All right. Flyers money line and Flyers in reg. Normally I would say you're crazy, but maybe you're not. Mishkov 2+ points plus 330. I like it. Over 5.5 and Jets money line. Flyers money line and over 5.5. Okay, people like the over, and that sounds good to me. Over sounds good to me, being on props. Tyson Forster plus 350. What do you think of the first period over 1.5? I don't do first periods. I'm not a first period guy. I don't get to them. I don't do them, so I don't have a lot of opinion here. But there are guys here in the chat that do like first period, so they can totally speak up. Sabres and Canadians first period over. I can see that. If it's a good price, I can see that. We'll continue on along to our next one here. The Edmonton Oilers and the Carolina Hurricanes. The Oilers plus 120, road dogs. The Hurricanes minus 140, home favorites. Total 6.5 here in this one. I mentioned on yesterday's show that I'm going to continue on fading the Oilers. However, now minus 140 obviously is out. It was past my range at minus 135. But also the Canes, I don't really want to be laying that kind of number with them with how they've played recently. I'm not sure on what the team total looks like. That was something else I was going to look at here. This was one of the other team totals other than the Sharks that I was looking at. Carolina team total over 3.5 is minus 130 at 365. Absolutely no way. So the books don't really want me to bet for the Hurricanes in this game, which is totally fine. I'll pass. Lots of other games to bet on. I do have a play in this game. And do I even have to say what it is? Do I? Are you guys going to make me say it? Okay, I'll say it. Leon Draisaitl, anytime goal in this game. He scored in 7 consecutive games. We continue to bet him, and we continue to cash. We're not going to stop now. Give me Leon Draisaitl, anytime goal, plus 130, which I got at FanDuel. FanDuel is the book for Leon Draisaitl. 7 consecutive games. It is what it is. I'm betting him plus 130 to score in this game. God, I love big NHL slates. I don't know if I love them so much. Sometimes they don't necessarily go so well, but yeah. Canes puck line. All right. Rantanen goal. Starting to heat up the last game or two. We'll see. We'll see if we can get going. Oil got to get it done, for God's sake. LOL, I took them. They most likely will end their losing streak eventually. You got to think. And the Canes haven't necessarily been playing all that well recently, so maybe this is the spot for Edmonton. I don't know. 14-2 to the first period over. 1.5. Svechnikov assist, plus 125. He's done in 4 of his last 5 games. Aho assist, minus 114. Which is not a bad look either. There is a spark in the Flyers dressing room with the new players Kuzmenko likes being with Mishkov. All right, I can see that. Kuzmenko has definitely done well. I think my comments not popping up in time. No, your comments are fine. I go over after I break down the game, so sometimes they're for the last game. But that's okay. Draisaitl anytime goal, full unit. Wow, Captain Bry's going with the full unit. I'm sticking with the half unit. Because I know that moment I do go up to the full, I know we'll have trouble. So I'm going to stick with the half. Mishkov better than Bedard? Well, yeah. 90% of the NHL is better than Bedard. No, I'm kidding. We know I don't like Bedard, but yeah. Mishkov is definitely a lot more likable. Canes and Reg, and Canes -1.5. Wow. All right, good luck. Taylor Hall +350 versus old team. Oh, yeah. It's one of his old teams. He's got so many old teams now, it's hard to keep track of. But yeah, where's his old team? Next game here, the LA Kings -105, heading to St. Louis -115. Total 5.5 here in this game. So far, this is a pass for me at this moment. And people might be thinking, Terry, why aren't you going to take Warren Foegele? He just cashed for you last night and he's cashed for us in a couple nights in a row. Hasn't really had a lot of success against the Blues recently. So with a huge slate, I'm fine with staying off Foegele here in this game, but he is the most consistent LA King recently. For the Blues, Thomas and Buchnevich, we continue to talk about them on a daily basis. Extremely consistent for the Blues. They're on a line with Jake Neighbors, who's also got an assist in back-to-back games and also scored in back-to-back. And with Thomas and Buchnevich both on these assist streaks, Jake Neighbors is a good look here. And with the fact that Kemper started yesterday, Kings on the second night of a back-to-back, it should be Riddick here in net. I'm going to be getting to some St. Louis props. I just didn't get to it, obviously, with Kings playing last night. This is one of the games I kind of didn't really get to here before the game before the show started. Obviously, I got up and wanted to get the show done pretty quickly here. Thomas assist is, what did I just do? +120. Wow. +120. Buchnevich is +155. Holloway's +110 just to get a point. Neighbors +140. Oh my gosh, man. There's a lot. There's a lot you could do with this game. Braden Shen is also +128. So all these Blues players, and I'm not necessarily the biggest Blues fan. I've made that pretty clear on the show, but you have to look at what they're doing recently, and they're playing really well. So as of this moment, no plays, but Thomas assists, a good look. Buchnevich assists, a good look. Neighbors point, a very good look. Shen Holloway point props, good looks. There's lots you could do here in this game. Follow me on Cap Protect for my plays here in this game, because I'm going to be getting to some, at least a couple Blues props here, I think, in this game. The Blues obviously have a chance for the playoffs, so they're going to be fighting for it. Grant says no to Ice X. No. Foegele +300. We'll see if he can do it against the Blues. Blues and Reg. Normally I would say yuck, but I could see that. Oilers money line in the last game. Turnsey thinks they'll get it done. I could see it. I've been cashing with Foegele shots and goals, a parlay piece. Okay. I can see that. He's been shooting. Neighbors +325 goal. Not a bad look whatsoever. Holloway +275. Again, not a bad look at all. I might jump on Blues money line. ... No props. No props. Come on, Grant. But no, I could see it. I could see the Blues winning this game. I will be on props, though. I'm going to have to add some just because of the value. And because of the total 5.5, that's why we're getting the value here with the props. Loving the evolution of your slides. Helps with props and parlays. Thanks, Terry. I appreciate that. My graphics are one of the things I think that stands my show apart from others. Is my graphics, as well as the in-depth player props. I don't think you get in-depth player prop stats like this on any other show. Yes, thank you. I appreciate the comment. We'll continue on along here with this one, the New Jersey Devils and Utah Hockey Club. New Jersey minus 105, road favorites Utah minus 115. Total 5.5 here in this game, which is a little bit interesting in this one. And this Utah Hockey Club team comes in on a pretty nice win streak here. They've been playing pretty well. Obviously, they just beat down my Minnesota Wild 6-1. A great win for them. Before that, back-to-back 2-1 wins. Before that, 5-3 loss, 5-4 win. So Utah can be very high scoring in some games. And then also a couple 2-1 wins against Chicago and Vancouver as well. So a bit lower scoring. The Devils are all over the place recently. They've been alternating win-loss, win-loss, win-loss. They've struggled to string wins together recently. They are off a loss in their last game against Colorado. So if you think they're going to continue the win-loss, win-loss, then maybe they win this game. But I have no interest in fading Utah right now. They are playing very well and right in that playoff race, while New Jersey's kind of stuck where they are in a good spot for second or third in the division, kind of out of the race for first. Utah has a lot to play for here, and getting Gunther back really helped. Getting Cooley back really helped the Utah Hockey Club. Looking at player props here, Jesper Bratt continues to rack up assists, 10 of his last 11 games, and 5 of his last 7 against Utah. Now, of course, I believe only one game was actually against Utah. The other were against Arizona. So that's something to keep in mind. Obviously, with Arizona moving to Utah. Jack Hughes has also been very consistent recently and against Utah. So if you wanted to parlay Bratt and Hughes together or use them as parlay pieces, I want to talk you off that. Dougie Hamilton playing pretty well recently, also against Utah. For the Utah Hockey Club, Clayton Keller. Clayton Keller, 0.6 of 7, an assist in 4 of 5. Power play point 4 or 5. He's just all over the place, Keller, right now. And a 0.3 of 4 against New Jersey. Cooley, Schmaltz, both assisting in 3 of their last 4 games. That top line playing pretty well for the Utah Hockey Club. And then you've got Dylan Gunther as well, who's been dangerous on the power play. This Utah Hockey Club team has been very dangerous on the power play recently. And people might be thinking, well, they face the Minnesota Wild. Of course they're going to be good in the power play. That was one game. The other games also, they've been doing good in the power play as well. So I'm not sure on the Devils penalty kill stats. So I don't have that up here. I think you could parlay Keller and Cooley together or Keller and Schmaltz. I think would be good looks. And then Bratt and Hughes I like for parlay pieces as well. So there's lots of parlay pieces to use in this game with players here, but no single props for me here in this one. Terry slides are elite. Thank you, Terry. I appreciate it. Obviously, I put a lot of work into the show. So I appreciate it, guys. Devils money line. Let's go. All right. Devils plus 104. All right. Jack Hughes, 2+ points, plus 136. Okay. Keller and Hughes, I'm assuming Jack, assist parlay. That's right. And, you'll get better odds, obviously, because it's one in each team. So you could very well do that as well. Like I said, I like all 4 of those guys, or 5. I like Hughes and Bratt, especially for the Devils, and then Keller, Cooley, and Schmaltz for Utah. Bratt 2+ points, plus 236. Bratt and Hughes point parlay. Gunther goal, plus 160. And Cooley assist, plus 200. Great value there. Great value. But we will move on along to our second last game of the night, but I definitely have plays here in this one. We have the Vancouver, I'll bring up this comment for the last game. Devils penalty kill 3rd overall, but 14th on the road. Okay. I like that they're not as good on the road, obviously, but I'm not going to get to power play props there. Just normal parlay pieces. But Vancouver Canucks and the Seattle Kraken. Vancouver, minus 105. Seattle Kraken, minus 115. Total of 5.5 here in this one. And people might be looking at this and thinking, if you've been watching my show before, people may be thinking, I'm pretty sure that there's some kind of streak with these two teams. And you are 100% correct. There is a streak with these two teams. All 13 games between Seattle and Vancouver have all gone over 13.5. 5.5. Bear with me. So obviously Seattle joined the NHL a few years ago now, and all 13 games these teams have played have gone over 5.5. 11 of the 13 games went over 6.5. Very high scoring games between these two teams. Obviously, both of these two teams entering this game on under streaks until their last game. Vancouver was on an under streak. They lost 5-2 in their last game. Same with Seattle on an under streak. They lost 7-2 in their last game. So both teams most likely after their last game might not want it to be as high scoring of a game, but with the history between these two teams, and you guys know I like those past history streaks. Florida and Rangers went over for years and years and years before there was finally an under. I bet these two teams over, I believe, every game last year. I've already bet it both of the meetings this year, and I'm going to continue to bet it. Give me the over 5.5, which I got for plus 106 at FanDuel. Great price there on the over. I get it. These two teams kind of heading in to this game on a bit of under streaks, but I have to just stick with what's been making me money, and betting these teams over have definitely made me money. Shane Wright, going back to him again, over half a point, plus 120 up at 365 here in this game. Quinn Hughes most likely gets on the score sheet for the Canucks here in this one. I can't do it? Really? Okay. No, I totally understand people looking at this and thinking, I don't want to bet the over in this game, but I have to. And this is one of my favorite plays on the board. It is. Pass. All right. Moving on to our final game, the Chicago Blackhawks and the Anaheim Ducks here in the final game of the night. The Blackhawks around plus 130, road dogs. The Anaheim Ducks minus 155, home favorites. Total 6 here in this one. Connor Bedard may not be on the screen here as he hasn't been consistent lately. However, he does have success against the Ducks. So don't be surprised if Mr. Bedard, who, especially last year, he really showed up against teams like the Ducks and the Sharks and, those bad rebuilding teams. Those are the teams that Bedard has good games against. So don't be surprised to see him have a good game here in this one. For the Hawks, Donato and Teuvo Teravainen have both been the consistent players for the Hawks. Teravainen's done well against the Anaheim Ducks as well. So he's a player to look at here. For the Ducks right now, their offense is kind of spread out here. Their offense is kind of spread out between their different lines. Ultimately here, give me Jackson Lacombe over half a point, which I got for plus 105. 4-game point streak. Obviously, one of their best offensive defensemen getting to face this awful Blackhawks defense and goaltending. So give me Mr. Lacombe just to get a point here, goal or an assist, plus 105 in this game. We'll go to the chat here. Ducks money line. I don't like the minus 155, but I get it. Lacombe over 1.5 shots and goal and auto bet. Okay, so he's shooting the puck a lot. I like to hear it. Ducks money line and my boy Stromer. Okay, so Grant is a fan of the Strom brothers. That's fine. Ducks money line. I don't like the price, but yeah, if you parlay Strom point in there, that would be a better price. Live bet the Ducks at the second intermission. Okay. So you think they'll come back late, depending on if they're losing? Carlson point, Cutter point, and McTavish point. Ducks money line plus 475. Wow. Best of luck. But that's today's slate. Premium plays, as of right now, there is one full unit play that I did not give out on today's show. And then I believe there's a player prop as well. But actually, I might have accidentally given that out, but it's okay. So the full unit play on a premium play, and then I'm going to have some same game parlays coming soon and some other props, which you can get on Cap Protect. Link is in the description below. Link in the description of the YouTube channel. And if you're watching on Twitter, the link is in the description on both of my Twitter accounts in my description. If you guys like the show, make sure to hit the like button. I appreciate all the support. And if you're new, hit the subscribe button. We're growing every day. Love to see it. First game starts in half an hour. First two games. So best of luck to everyone on this Saturday day of hockey. And no show Sundays. So we'll see you guys back here on Monday for another episode of Picks on Net. NHL picks and predictions. I grew up with the Strom family. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That's really cool. But best luck to everyone tonight, and we'll see you guys back on Monday.